If your goal is to lose body fat, energy balance is the fundamental basis of being able to lose that fat. But if you're new to counting calories, it can definitely be a confusing process whenever you're trying to figure out how many calories you need to eat in order to reach those goals. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dustin Williams, and for the best health, nutrition, and fitness advice, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that little notification bell so that you're notified whenever I post a new video every week. It's somewhat surprising how many people have started off counting calories at this magical number that I still don't know where it came from of 1,200 calories. And whenever it comes to counting calories and finding out the amount of calories that you're going to need specifically for your goals and for fat loss, the process is really extremely individualized. There is no one set number that's going to work for everybody all the time. Now, there are a couple of different ways to calculate calorie estimates for you individually whenever your goal is fat loss. The way that I'm going to talk about today in this video is definitely not the only way to start to get into this, but it's definitely probably the easiest and makes it the quickest so that you can find a set point and just kind of start to get after it. Because we know that whenever we're motivated in the moment, we want to get started now. And this is going to help you get into a very quick and easy start point so that you can find a good number to start and see how your body reacts to it. So in this video, I'm going to show you the main way, not the only way, but definitely probably the main way that I get people to start on calories for them individually, especially when I'm working with my clients. Now, the easiest and quickest way to do this, your one simple step to get started on this, is to use a calorie calculator online. Now, here's the thing about using these calorie calculators online. They are not all the same. Different calculators will use different equations, and there are certain equations that have been shown to be more accurate than others. And whenever you are starting out and you're trying to pick a calorie standpoint, this is going to be one of those that it's going to be an educated guessing game. No matter what method you go by, there's no way to 100% accurately know how many calories you're burning every single day, day in and day out. It's an educated guessing game. But these calorie calculators, when using the right equations, can definitely help get you into a good starting point. You test it out, you see how your body responds, and then you make adjustments as you go. Now, when you're using a calorie calculator online, my recommendation is that you find one that uses what's called the Mifflin-St. Jeor equation. There are a few different equations out there that you could potentially use. This one, when you look into the research, you look into the literature, this one seems to be the most accurate out of the options out there. But here's the thing that you need to understand is it's kind of what I mentioned earlier, that it's still an educated guessing game. There is no perfect equation or perfect way to know exactly what's going on. And when you look into the research on this equation, even though it was the most accurate one, that in about 25% of the people that participated in this study, it was still around 10% or more off on their calorie calculations. So understand that whenever you pick these numbers, it's just a starting point. You still have to see how your body is choosing to react to the calories that you are taking in on a daily basis. I'll link below to the one that I recommend, the one that I use typically. Easy, you just click the website, go right to it. Whenever you go to this website, it's going to ask you a few different questions. It's going to ask you to input your age, your height, your weight, your activity levels. It's going to ask you to put in a few questions to fill out so that it can get some baseline information to get an idea of where it thinks you should be as far as a starting point. And it's going to give you multiple different options to start off with. Now, for me personally, I always have my clients start off on the higher end of the range. This is one of those things that me, for my goals and my clients, regardless of what their goals are, if it's fat loss, muscle gain, any of the above, I always want them to eat as many calories as possible and still be moving towards their goals. If you are eating the maximum amount of calories that you can eat and still moving towards your goals, it's going to be ultimately better for your metabolism. It's going to help you get in more nutrients overall, and it's going to make it easier to stick with the diet because there's potentially going to be less hunger if you're eating more calories and, again, still moving in the direction that you want to be moving. You have to be able to look at, regardless of what plan you're taking or what route you're going, you have to be able to look at the short term and the long term both whenever it comes to creating a nutritional lifestyle. Because if you pick something and you can't stick with it, then it doesn't really matter. If you do something and it's the perfect diet for you, the perfect diet, but if you can't stick to it more than 3 or 4 weeks or even more than a month or two, then it doesn't do you any good. You have to find something that you can look at and say, you know what, this is something that in 1 year from now, in 2 years from now, in 5 years from now, I could still potentially be following this because it fits into my lifestyle. And that being said is why I always have my clients start on the higher end of the calories to see how their body reacts first. Because if you can eat 2,000 calories a day, and I'm making up numbers, but if you can eat 2,000 calories a day and still be moving in the direction of your goals, if your goal is weight loss, and if you're eating 2,000 calories a day and you're still losing a pound or a pound and a half a week, why eat 1,600 calories if you can eat 2,000 calories and still be moving in that direction? So whenever you input all your information and it gives you a list of everything, Here's what I would recommend that you do. Look at the 1 pound of weight per week lost. Those numbers that it lists out is where I would recommend that you start. Again, you're starting off on the higher end. Give your body at least 1 week. Preferentially, you're going to give it 2 weeks and see how your body responds. Did you drop any weight on the scale? Are you taking pictures? Do they look any different? Are you taking measurements? Have they changed? Are your clothes fitting any differently? Whatever measurements you are using to see that you are making progress, is there change in 1 to 2 weeks? If there's not any change, then this is whenever I would go back and I may go closer to the 2 pound range, maybe split the middle or move all the way down to where it says the calorie numbers for 2 pounds a week. If you are making changes, then don't change anything with your calorie intake. I'm a big believer in if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I have quite a few clients that they start making progress and they're like, okay, what can I do more? What can I do next? Nothing. If what you're doing is working and is keeping you healthy, then keep moving in that direction. One thing to also consider is that whenever you're looking at a calorie number, you don't have to hit that exact number every single day. You're just trying to make it to where over the period of a week that you are averaging that specific number. So let me give you an example. So if you want to, if you had to eat 2,000 calories a day every single day in order for you to lose weight, you could eat 2,000 calories every day and move towards your goals. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. You can also fluctuate things as needed. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you strength train 3 times a week, and you know that on the days that you strength train that your appetite's a little higher, you find that you're a little bit hungrier. So maybe the 2,000 calories might be a little bit harder for you to stick with. So in those situations, on the days that you're strength training, maybe you bump it up to 2,200 calories a day. So 3 days a week, you're eating 2,200 calories a day. So the other 4 days of the week that you're not strength training, you drop it down to 1,850 calories a day. So you've got 3 days a week of eating 2,200 calories. You've got 4 days a week of eating 1,850 calories. When you take that and you average it over 7 days, your average is still 2,000 calories per day. So there is no right or wrong way to go about this. You can eat the same amount, you can structure it. The overall goal is just over that period of the week is that you are trying to average the same amount of calories consistently to see what kind of results you get and how your body responds to what you're doing. Now, once you do actually start tracking and you get a good calorie range, I've had quite a few people tell me that sometimes they struggle with reading and understanding everything that's on a nutritional label. I've actually done a video on this topic, so I'll link below to it in the description. If that's something that you think that you might be able to learn a little bit more about or that you need some assistance in, watch that video, check it out, learn a little bit more about the nutritional labels and how that can relate to paying attention to calorie counting. Now, here's an important thing to be aware of. Once you find your calorie range and you start following it and you're seeing results, eventually, you're potentially going to get to a point where you plateau. This is completely normal, and honestly, for long-term survival, it's a good thing. But whenever you plateau, what you have to understand is that as you're starting to diet and as you're starting to lose weight and you're in a negative energy balance and you're eating less calories, that your resting metabolic rate, which is essentially if you sat around and did nothing all day, that's how many calories you would burn in a day. If you did nothing, that's your resting metabolic rate. That resting metabolic rate is going to potentially start to drop. And it's going to start to match the amount of calories that you're taking in every day. And whenever this happens, you're potentially going to have to adjust the amount of calories that you take in. So understand that plateaus happen. This is a normal part of the process, regardless of what diet plan you're following. And whenever this happens, the beauty of you counting calories is that whenever you do plateau, you already know how much you're eating on a daily basis. So it makes it a lot easier for you to understand, okay, I've now plateaued. I've stayed the same for the last couple of weeks. Then you start to adjust and you drop the calories or increase the activity level in order to adjust for the plateau that you've hit. So now you know how to calculate your calorie intake for fat loss. But there are still other steps that are involved in creating an overall nutritional lifestyle. So what I've done for you is I have actually created a free guide. It's my Yo-Yo Dieting Cure Guide. I'll put the link below in the description. This is going to help you on the rest of the aspects of trying to create a nutritional lifestyle and make sure that the goals that you're reaching towards and the direction that you're moving, that it sticks, that it lasts, and it stays long term. Because as I mentioned before, you want to focus on the long term as well as the short term. So I'm going to put a link below for this in the description. Click that link, download the guide, absolutely free. And of course, as always, if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you would smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.